Awesome stuff. Welcome to our last webinar for the year. You can see there the topic is use your bonus towards a more comfortable retirement. So yes, we're drawing close to that time of year, which is often referred to as a silly season or Christmas period. It's obviously characterized with the, when I say a silly season, it's a period characterized by overindulgence. Many people are looking forward to their holiday break. I know I am. And it's also time when some people are fortunate enough to receive an annual bonus. So although there's a temptation to overspend at this time of year, it's also generally considered prudent to use a portion of your savings and bonus to pursue long-term goals such as retirement. So individuals' financial situations differ. Obviously, we all come from different scenarios, but it's with a little bit of planning, and this is what the whole presentation is about today, just to highlight some ideas for you. With a little bit of planning, it's possible to invest some of those additional funds that is available to you, and then obviously benefit more from them in the future. And the idea today is obviously to focus on some tax efficient vehicles for you to maximize that for you. So before we get going, as I say, my name is Sean van den Berg. I'm an investment specialist here at PSG Wealth. So my objective today is to discuss ways that you can obviously spend and save and invest your annual bonus. So first things first, here's the agenda for today. I can just get there quickly. Come, there we go. So you can see just the three main topics as always. How do many people, what do many people do with the year-end bonus? Then what do savvy or clever people or wise people do with their windfall? And then obviously lastly, what I suggest you do to maximize your year-end bonus. Okay, so to get started, sorry, I'm gonna have some water here. If you are one of those fortunate people that are awaiting a year-end bonus, just understand that the surprisingly high number of employees believe that they are entitled to a year-end bonus, and they anticipate this money for holiday and obviously Christmas gifts and celebrations. But just understand that by no means a company is obliged to pay this bonus unless obviously it's a guaranteed part of your package. So unless, as I say, it's in part of your employment contract, employees will not just get a bonus as such. There's obviously some technicalities that will apply. Some companies will reward employees based on performance or hours worked, but such bonuses are more likely to be paid, as I said just now, linked to a company's performance. And we all know that the economy, world economy, global economy is not doing so well. It's in times of slow economic growth, companies are less likely to produce good financial results, and obviously this will have a major impact on possible bonus payments. So just don't, put it this way, I want to help you manage your expectations and not have a miserable Christmas. Okay, so as I said, if you're fortunate enough to receive a bonus this time of year, you're wondering how best to use your newfound cash injection. While a lot of people might anticipate this cash windfall, they don't have a clear plan what to do with it. So there are many options available, obviously a lot of distractions too, vying for your attention, and it's difficult to know exactly what to do. So it's a good question to ponder. What must I do with my bonus? In theory, just understand also that your bonus is what economists would call a windfall payment. So it's, in other words, it's not expected. So this falls outside of your normal budgeting patterns. In other words, this is your usual how-to or have-to spending priorities don't really apply, and I'll touch more on this a bit later. So, but also you must understand we're heading to that most expensive time of year. We've got year-end parties, we've got office parties, we've got Christmas and New Year, parties, but also just around the corner, exactly 6 weeks from here, some of us might get our bonuses in the middle of December. You just got after that, you got school fees and university fees to look at. All those nice little things to look at. Things like increased medical aid premiums you have to pay, and also there's just higher cost of living. We know that cost of living is going up all the time. We saw inflation come out I think it was this week, 7.6%. We know that interest rates are going up. So yeah, interesting times, I would say. So you have a choice. Your year-end bonus can be a financial lifeline this time of year. You can use it for, as I say, for your holiday or buying a car, all those little gadgets. We just had Black Friday last week. A lot of people go and spend, go crazy and go buy things because they're on special. So yeah, that's one way of using using the bonus. But the other way is also to utilize it for tax planning and for paying down your debts and investments, etc. So those are the choices you have right now. So you can either buy some short-term gratification or instant gratification, which is say short-lived, or you can ensure better financial well-being, which is obviously more longer term. I believe in a bit of you could call it a bit of a balance. So, excuse me, before perhaps playing that bonus, maybe you should pause and just consider the following don'ts. Okay, here's a list of don'ts. Okay, this is what you should not be doing. Okay, first of all, spend before you get it. There's an old saying, do not count your chickens before they hatch, before the eggs hatch. What that means is just you might be tempted to count each egg as one chicken, but don't forget that some of those eggs might not hatch, and so you might not get some of the chickens you expect. So what does that mean? You should not make plans that depend on something good happening before you know what has happened. So I was mentioning just now Black Friday. I'm amazed how many people go and spend stuff on their credit card, go buy all these TVs and that, because they're on call it a 40% or 50% discount on sale, with the anticipation that I'm going to pay my credit card with my bonus. And this is what I mean by this, by counting the eggs before they hatch. So you're being too confident that you might be getting a bonus. The whole idea is rather wait for written confirmation from your employer on the exact amount your bonus will be taken consideration. That's number one. And number two, don't forget that this bonus is taxable. It's taxed as ordinary income. So be aware of that too. So our advice is exercise patience and wait until the money lands in your bank account. Okay. And then following what we call mental accounting. There's a behavioral bias where we compartmentalize, this big word there, compartmentalize money without seeing the big picture. Okay, so don't think of your bonus just as a financial windfall. This whole idea that this mental accounting can work against you. So there's a few problems. Number one, you don't know how much the amount will be that's going to be paid out. It comes as a lump sum, and as I say, it's taxed as ordinary income. So this unknown lump sum as such makes you feel it's different from your salary. But we mentioned already that this is all part and parcel of your paycheck for December. So you still have got some things to do. You still got some living expenses to pay and things like that. So the bottom line, your regular paycheck feels boring. Now suddenly you get extra money coming in, and this is where you think, oh, windfall. Okay, so you'll never in a million years take your paycheck, your monthly salary paycheck, and just go to Mauritius just on your salary paycheck. You still got some expenses to go. Okay, so it might feel fun and exciting to get this bonus. A rand from your bonus is the same as a rand from your paycheck or your salary income. So that's the way to look at it. So the whole idea is also with planning ahead is don't delay deciding what you do with it. And we talk about some strategy just now again. Sorry, let me just have some water here. So the whole idea is to take a view of your full financial position, and then obviously make plans around that. And then again, don't go rack up more debt. Avoid using a bonus to rack up more debt. You put a small deposit down on a TV and you get to pay it off over the next year or so. It's crazy to do that. Obviously, you got interest and things like that, and it's money that should have been used for something else. And then don't forget about January. Okay, you're getting paid now in the middle of December. Just understand that your next income is only coming at the end of December. Okay, so you got to spend everything in the first 2 weeks of December, or the last 2 weeks of December with the holidays and Christmas and things like that. And we still got food and petrol and all that kind of things to consider in January. As I said, also, we still got all those other expenses called school fees and university fees. Okay, so what do savvy people do? Okay, what do savvy people do? So working out how to use your bonus in the smartest way entails taking account of your financial and life goals. So the question I have for you now, what is your financial priority? And if you don't have one, it's time to think about having one. Your financial situation changes, constantly changes. And obviously this bonus is just one of those things that the next change you have to consider. Your bonus matters when it comes to wealth building. So that's what I want you to consider now. So there's two ways to look at this. Two tips, if I can give you that, how to allocate your annual bonus. Number one is focus on your financial goals, and your financial goals will have time scales. You might have short-term goals, which is anything less than 5 years, medium-term goals, which is 5 years to 10 years, and long-term, we say 10 years plus. So you can look at these examples, your emergency fund, less than 5 years. My emergency fund right now is to get off the grid. I need to look at solar power and inverters and all that kind of stuff, because this load shedding is not enjoyable for me. Okay, so that's where I'm going to be spending a lot of my short-term goals right now, is having that kind of stuff on my house. And you can see there also overseas holiday. I'm amazed how much some of my friends are going to the UK now in December. Some of my friends are going to Thailand. So it's great to have people going for those overseas holiday, but I can tell you now, they didn't think about it last week. They've been planning about it for a long time. Okay, and then talking about long term, obviously 10 years plus, we're talking about retirement. So that's one way of looking at it, is think, focus on your financial goals and then the time horizons linked to that. And then secondly, is to think of your bonus, how you spend your bonus, but think in percentages. Okay, so you want to split it up. Take some of your money, maybe 10%, put into your retirement fund. Put 15% into your long-term goals. This is we're talking about those overseas trips. So take 15% of your bonus and put it into a voluntary investment plan, saving towards overseas trip. Take some of your money, maybe 25%, and get rid of your debt, especially credit card debt. And if you haven't got a emergency fund, that's one of the first things you should have, is to set up an emergency fund. So using your bonus is one way to jumpstart that. And I've mentioned this in past webinars, have between 6 months and 8 months, or even more than that, 12 months expenses saved up in a fund where you have access to it very quickly. Okay, and then maybe take some of your bonus and for a bucket list. That's a special holiday. I remember 2019 going on our 20th anniversary to Thailand again. We went there for our honeymoon, but this time I took my children with to enjoy where we went. So yeah, those are the kind of holidays that you can budget for and plan for. Okay, so I hope that makes sense to you. So there's two ways of looking at it. Then we talk about, we spoke about earlier about what not to do with your bonus. So here's 8 ideas or options what to do with your bonus. So first of all, don't give into the temptation. The temptation is there to splurge. You want to go buy that new mountain bike or that cool new cell phone. I saw this thing the other day, this new Tesla phone. It's called Tesla Pi phone. I must say I'm really interested in that. Anyway, the whole idea is that don't need it right now. You have to consider things like opportunity cost. So bottom line, you want to resist the urge. You want to pay down the expensive debt I was mentioning just now. So that's another way of looking at what to do with your margin, your bonus. As I mentioned, we talk about those Black Friday bargains. You bought on your credit card. This is what I'm talking about. Get rid of that kind of debt. It just gives you that peace of mind. If you can, pay for big lump, a big part of your debt, I just think psychologically it gives you a massive a boost going into 2023. Okay, and then prepare, as I mentioned before, prepare for school and university fees. I've got my daughter going third year medicine. I've got my son going to grade 10. He has all those new stationaries, and I know my son needs a tablet and things like that. Yeah, well, those kind of things you have to take into consideration. You maybe new school uniforms for my son, new shoes, I know. And then I mentioned just now again, an emergency fund. So this is another one, as I say, option for you. And then maximize your retirement annuity contribution. This is one of the smartest things you can do. It's amazing tax wrapper. It's a way for you to, obviously take your tax contributions or tax deductible. Your contributions are tax deductible. So this is another way of just looking at maximizing it and getting your money to work for you longer. We'll touch on it a bit later in more details about your retirement annuity. Reward yourself. So again, this is where you might want to budget through the year a luxury expenditure like buying a mountain bike, but reward yourself at the end of the year by just taking a bit of your bonus and just boosting it, and then investing for your future. If you haven't got any investments as such, a unit trust portfolio, it's one of the easiest ways to start doing that, because sort of lose 500 Rand a month. Start it early. And we'll touch on it a bit later. Invest in yourself for your future. Again, this is your personal development. I'm a big believer in this. I enjoy this. And you can see my past webinar a few months ago, I spoke about the 6 money jars. Take 10% of your income every month and invest into what I call education or personal development. This is where you, as I say, you enroll in a photographic course, or you do an online share trading course, or you register for online studies, you join a gym, whatever the case might be, just to grow. So you grow personal development. I like Udemy. There's a lot of courses I do on Udemy, but just finding time to find fulfilling and learning and discovering new things. This is what it's all about. What I mean by this, invest in yourself. Okay. Yeah. So there's just some ideas for you guys. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat today. So maximizing your bonus. So as I mentioned just now, the one thing you must understand is you want to get your money to work for you. So yes, we can invest into investments. What's also important to understand is the cost of managing those investments must be as low as possible. So we look at things what we call a total expense ratio. That should be as low as possible. Ideally, like 1%. Compare a unit trust portfolio has got a total expense ratio of 1% to one has got 2%. The one that has a 2% has to, well, the 2% has to outperform the 1% by 18% over 20 years to deliver the same returns. Okay. So take that together with a investment vehicle, a tax efficient vehicle like a retirement annuity with the tax benefits, you'll see that you're getting your money to work hard for you. So I'm going to grab some water again. Yeah. So here's 6 reasons why I believe it's good to invest your bonus. So number 1, obviously invest in money. Money makes money. When you invest, you'll be using what we call the magic of compounding. Time allows your invested money to grow, and obviously compounding makes your money work harder for you. So that's number 1. And you'll see a slide just now where we show you the magic of compounding. So giving a long enough period to work, compounding can dramatically multiply the value of your investment. So using a bonus as such, if you're doing it every year, imagine over 15, 20 years, what will happen to your investments at the end. And obviously, over the long term, the risk of inflation eroding your buying power of your money is probably greater than the risk of volatility of the markets. So obviously, the volatility in the markets, which we've seen recently, obviously it's because of uncertainty. It's just a short-term phenomenon. But obviously, the rising cost of living, you need to outperform that, and that's why getting everyone to work hard for you is so important. Okay, and that's again why it's so important to plan. And then if you invest in your bonus, it gives you more options. Obviously it gives you again a buffer against unforeseen elements. So if you spend your bonus, it's gone. I always say 50 Rand is a slave. It can work for you, it can work for your children, it can work for your children's children. The minute you give it away, it's someone else's slave. Yeah, so that's one way to look at it. And then obviously, the buyer's remorse. You buy this TV on Black Friday, and now you're paying on your credit card, and you hope to get a bonus. You don't get a bonus. Imagine your buyer's remorse now. Okay, so every time we reach into our wallets, we're making a choice between saving and spending. A choice that obviously puts our future needs against what we need and want right now. So the idea is that we end up regretting what we bought on a whim, and forgetting why it's so essential to have the item when we realize that the cash could have been used better. So that's what I mean by buyer's remorse. And obviously, I always say it's a step in the right direction. It's going to help you become more financially secure. And then lastly, obviously saving it in a tax-efficient way, especially through a retirement annuity or a tax-free savings plan. It pays off. It pays, pays off lots of dividends. The main thing is obviously patience. Patience pays off. I was tempted to focus on the short-term gratification and avoid long-term decisions. Your patience will pay off now. So yeah, just take it in consideration. So yes, 5 reasons why investing to a retirement annuity is a very savvy thing to do. So first of all, obviously disciplined savings. So as opposed to putting your money into a bank account and you have access to your bank account or access to savings any time, retirement annuity, you can only have access to your funds at the age of 55. So it helps you, it will prevent you from withdrawing your money from your RA prematurely. Okay, so it's a good way of forcing you into disciplined savings. Look at that way. Number 2, as I mentioned before, the tax benefits. So yes, your contributions are tax deductible, but also within the tax wrapper, the retirement annuity itself, any growth, be it a capital growth and dividends and interest payments, all that is tax free. So if you pay, 41% marginal tax rate and you invest 100 Rand in the RA, the 41 Rand of that amount may be effectively paid back to you in SARS. So at the end of the year, when you get your tax rebate, whenever it's a tax year, you get your money back, reinvest that back into your RA again. So with your bonus, again, you get your money to grow faster for you. So it's a way of boosting your retirement savings. Okay. And then obviously, we touched on it again just now, the magic of compound growth. And then lastly, your retirement annuity is protected. It's protected from creditors. If you fall into bad times, they cannot attach your retirement annuity. That's number 1. And number 2, obviously become insolvent in that, so they can't access your retirement funding. And then also, it's not subject to state duty. So it's great for state duty planning, which obviously allows you to support your dependents and provide for those when you leave behind. So it's a great little vehicle to look at. Okay. So here's an example of 2 investors, investor 1 and investor 2. Okay. Investor 1, he starts investing at the age of 20 and he's only putting 500 Rand a month away, where investor 2, he starts 15 years later. But the difference is that investor A, his contribution is only half of that of investor 2, because investor 2 started later. And they very much get to the same amount at the age of 65. Okay, so you can see they're just starting early is one way of looking at how compound growth over time helps your money to grow faster. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is visualizing the benefit of compound growth is to consider how much more your monthly savings would require at a specific target, a specific target. So you can see here, if I bring my little cursor in here quickly, spotlight, you can see here, when you start at the age of 20, we bring roughly about 500 Rand a month away. And when we're reaching at the age of 35, we bring nearly 3,000 Rand a month away. And obviously, the longer you go to get to the age of 65, I'm bringing you to 9,000 Rand a month away to get to my 10 million Rand target. Okay, so it just shows you the earlier you start, the better. Obviously, contributions are much lower, number one, and then obviously getting compounding to work in your favor. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I'm running out. Okay, here's another way of looking at it. Yes, a lady that just shows you how topping up your retirement annuity over the long term pays. So we got someone earning 500,000 Rand, and she's contributing 7.5% of her taxable income into her retirement annuity every year. She earns an annual bonus of 100,000 Rand. One scenario, she does not top up her RA. And the other, she uses 30% of that 100,000 Rand and tops up her RA. The result is that after 15 years, her retirement savings grew by 80% more compared to the scenario where she did not top up. Okay, so I hope that just illustrates you that deciding not to top up your retirement annuity in favor of having more disposable income now can be very tempting, but in the long run, the benefits of topping up your retirement annuity far outweighs the decision not to. Okay, so guys, I know I'm running out of time here. Let me go quickly onto the tax-free savings account or tax-free investment plan. The whole idea here also, first of all, maximize your retirement annuity or your retirement fund contributions. You've got 27.5% or 350,000 Rand. Max that out as much as you can because your contributions are tax deductible. Okay, you get your tax rebate and reinvest it again. With a tax-free investment plan, just understand that obviously this is after tax money going into this investment. Those contributions are not tax deductible, but any growth, any capital growth, dividends, income as such, when you withdraw it, is tax free. Okay, so it's a nice way to look at a way of what is the word? Supplementing or complementing the retirement fund. Okay. So think of it as a long-term investment. Very important that don't use this for short-term savings. This is not for a emergency fund. You know, if you're investing there in 5 years, the growth you're going to get out of it and the tax benefits, it's not going to be worthwhile. Think about it, as I say, long-term, 15 years plus. Very important to think of that way. And that's the way to get it to work for you. Set up a payment that works for you system. Remember, you can put in 36,000 Rand a year. You can do it in lump sum. A lot of people do it now this time of year with the bonuses before February's deadline. Or you can put 3,000 Rand a month away to get at 36,000. Or you can start a little 500 Rand, and as and when, especially if you're working on commission, as and when you have more bonuses, you add it, as long as you don't go over that 36,000 a year. Okay. And also, don't prematurely withdraw from your tax-free. So, you know, you might have built up over the years. For example, you get to about 300,000. Maybe your lifetime limit is 500,000. You withdraw 50,000. You can't put that 50,000 back. You had 300,000. You still got 200,000. You can't put it 50,000 back and say, bring it back to 200,000 or 300,000. Just understand you can take out. There's no limitations on that, but you can't just put back. Okay, and then align your investment portfolio with your time horizon. As I say, if you're opening up a tax-free for your child, 18 years, you want it for school fees, your university, your time horizon is about 18 years. If it's for retirement, obviously it's much longer. And it also depends on your underlying investments. You know, you want to go longer term, go for growth investments, have exposure to the equity market and things like that. Unlike the retirement annuity, just understand that you're tax-free does not have limitations like Regulation 28. So you can go offshore if you want to. You can go into any investments that you want to. There's no limitation. So, but if you're thinking long term, you want to maximize that growth potential. Okay. As I said, don't make over contributions. This is where, remember, that 36,000. If you go over that limit, be careful. You will be taxed 40% what you're going over. So be very, especially if you have investments at different places, be careful that you don't exceed that 36,000 annual. So just understand that you will be taxed on that 40%. Have some water again. And then lastly, be careful when transferring between providers. Don't sell and then deposit somewhere else. Rather transfer between service providers. Then you won't be losing that tax benefit. Okay, that's what I wanted to highlight there. So just quickly, I ran out of time here. Just shows you if you invest comparing a investment into a normal unit trust and into a tax-free, just that tax-free benefit with that growth within that tax-free investment, you can see over the long term how it outperforms at various different rates. So again, if you're looking at a tax-efficient vehicle, tax-free is a much better way of looking at it. Okay. So in quick summary, sorry, I've really got a frog in my throat today. So obviously a year-end bonus is, you might be earmarked for spending. It's a festive season, so you want to have a festive period. I understand that, but use some of it, not all of it for that. So it's time to buy some presents, go on holiday, yes, but plan it. And then, as I say, maybe use percentages. Whatever you choose to do, using it towards a retirement annuity or paying off debt, it's a very prudent way of using your bonus. So, I'd rather look ahead and see this windfall as an opportunity to sustain a higher standard of living for the future. So that's your choice. Okay. So just in quick summary, I used this quote just now. Your annual bonus can either buy you instant gratification, which is short-lived, or you can better ensure financial well-being for you in the long term. Okay, so retirement annuity is disciplined savings, it's prudent savings, tax-free investment plan, it's a nice little buffer before touching your retirement annuity. Use that as an investment vehicle. Remember, by the way, the retirement annuity, your first 500,000 is tax-free. So the lump sum is taxable, and then obviously the annuity, because remember you have to take a third. You can be taking out as a lump sum. The other 2/3 has been invested for a living annuity or for a monthly pension. That monthly pension obviously is taxable. That's on income tax rates, normal income tax rates. So just be aware of those kind of pros and cons. Okay, in conclusion, but got a frog in my throat. It's never too late. That's my main idea for me today. It's never to start saving for retirement. It's never too late, but it's critical that you start. The sooner the better. I hope you got that idea across, and the idea is the start of your bonus. Okay, so you can see there's links to some of these what we call key information documents, kids. Click on them, give you some more information, the pros and cons of each investment vehicle. Understand what the investment vehicle offers. And again, the main idea today is just consider the tax-free and the voluntary investment plan, the retirement annuity and the tax-free investment plan as tax vehicles for your bonus. Okay, good. Let me see what kind of questions you guys have. If you've got any questions, you're welcome to drop me an email at wealth@phg.co.za, or you can also try and contact us on OneStream. No audio. Why is there no audio? I don't know, maybe your audio is off. Don't know. It also, I've got no idea how to answer you there. Everybody else said audio. Can everybody still hear me? We can hear you. There we go. So also maybe your speakers are off. Okay. Are there any questions? Sorry about this frog in my throat all the time. What is the, sorry, Andrew, what is the concern with transferring VIPs tax-free between providers? Now, the concern, Andrew, what I mentioned there is a lot of people might have a tax-free with Alan Gray and they want to transfer to PSG. They'll sell and transfer the cash to PSG. Don't do that. You want to transfer the units. If you've got a Alan Gray unit trust, transfer the Alan Gray unit trust to PSG's platform if you've got the same on our platform. Okay. So the point is don't sell because you're basically withdrawing. Don't do that. Okay. I hope that, okay, Andrew, you understand. Cool. Robin, lots to think about. Pleasure. All the best for you guys. Oh, okay. So you sorted out the audio, Odosa. Great. I'm glad you heard your whatever. Are there any other questions? The main idea is, I think, what I want to highlight for you guys. Number one is this plan, what you do with your bonus. I think in terms of percentages. Ideally, you don't want to just waste your money and spend it frivolously. Take, I would say, at least 50% and look at investing that. Take the other 50% and then enjoy it. Okay. How do you transfer tax-free unit trust to tax-free savings account at my bank? Good question, Hannes. And that's another thing. Yes, we've got tax-free accounts. You might have a tax-free savings account at a bank. Now, a bank might not have unit trusts. They have interest, money market investments or interest-bearing investments. And that's what I always find fascinating. If you invested in a tax-free investment plan, why you got it with a interest-bearing account? Because your first, I think, I can't remember if you're under the 65, I think it was 26,000 Rand worth of interest is tax-free. Obviously, over 68 or 65, I can't remember what the number is. But you need a massive lump sum to be able to take advantage of that tax-free savings. So I'd rather have exposure to equity markets or higher growth elements in the tax-free. Okay. So I don't know if that answers your question. Honest. Yeah. You can transfer from FNB a tax-free savings account to another a similar account, but unit trust underlying investments is a bit of a challenge. You can transfer from Alan Gray or Coro to PSG, but from banks to banks, I wouldn't know. I hope to answer your question, Hannes. Okay, pleasure. Thanks, Hannes. Guys, thank you very much. As I said, this is our last webinar for the year. I hope it was beneficial. If you learned something, I know I gave a lot of information. Again, my apologies for having a frog in my throat the whole time. But until next year, hopefully by the last Wednesday in January, we'll have our first one for 2023. Maybe something to do with trading and technicals. But what you can do, if you want me to talk more about trading and technicals, more about fundamentals and about shares itself, drop me an email. Tell me what you want me to talk about and train about. I'll gladly do it for you guys. So from my side, have a blessed Christmas and have a safe new year. And we'll see you guys in the new year. All the best. Bye for now.